So this was our pivot bolt for pivoting the wheelhead on the wheelhead casting, on the wheelhead mount, whatever they're calling it. I've already cut these off, so that's scrap to be used for something else. What I've done with these is we've taken a nut, 3/8-24 to match, split it right through there, and it threads right onto our little, hopefully it threads right onto our little bolt. Get that threaded on there like that. And then it clamps in our 3-jaw. Just like that. Once you clamp it down, you don't screw up your threads, and it'll hold it securely enough to machine it. Give us a little bit of a nice radius. It's got a little nub in there, but that'll get hacksawed away when we go ahead and slot that for a screw slot. And just leave it in our little fixture. We can clamp it in the vise just like that. We're going to leave that right there. Now my thought is, down the road, and who knows if I'll ever do it or not, but when I finish my little rotary broach, why, it would be kind of stylish, I guess, to have a little broached Allen set in there. So let's go over and see how this is going to go back together again. Take our little slotted nut, set it over out of the way for future use. We've got a little drawer that those all go into. And take these and start our nuts onto our little shafts here. And these are probably not the worst. Well, these are not the nuts we're going to use either. We're going to use a narrow jam nut. But we'll get them both started on there. Actually, I'm not going to put those washers on there because when I tried them before with these nuts, why, there wasn't quite enough travel to lock it in place. So let's just for now just start these back in here. And that right there is just the way it fits up. Come on. So there we are. Looks pretty good, pretty clean. Once we get a narrow jam nut on each side, we can put a little small washer underneath there to keep it from galling up the surface when we do clamp it down. And I am happy with that. We got room underneath. Our knurled nut will go on here to raise and lower the head. Our other nut will go on top. It's actually not a nut, it's just a collar that goes on here, and it will be indexed on the vertical column with a little nylon pin, and that will give us our index points around. We'll have our index mark here on the front, and then we'll have our collar will be indexed around there for position this way as we rotate it around. And there again, we probably won't mark that nut and knurl it until we get, or it won't be knurled, the top one won't be knurled, the bottom one will. We probably won't mark that out with our index positions and stuff until we get the final adjustment done, or close to final adjustment. That way we'll know that this is 90 degrees to our bed bars. Okay, there we go. So hopefully we got those in the right spot. If we didn't, we got problems. But I'm pretty comfortable we've got it where we need to be. Let's take it out and take a look at this. I've got to tap the other side. I'm just going to do that by hand. I'll take it over to the bench, and I'm not going to worry too much about showing that. Oh yeah, we got a good straight hole through. There's the way she looks now. Okay, well, we're just coming down to the niceties for these castings now. I've got this one drilled and tapped for our adjustments up and down. Drilled and tapped here. We did the same 3/8-24 as we did here. So this is going to mount like that. Well, I had it set up in the mill to drill and tap these. I did open up this relief a little bit more, so we've got way more than we actually need now, but that's okay. So this actually will sit this way. So anyway, the only things left to do to this casting here is we'll have to drill and tap 2 holes here for our motor mount that the motor actually mounts to when it's up here and mounts back here. And that'll wait until we get the motor and get everything else laid out up here. we'll have to bore for our spindle here, and then we've got to either install split cotters here or just drill it and tap it to put in and then split this casting. I don't know which way we're going to go with that. We'll get the spindle done and see what that does. Other than those two things, it's just finishing niceties on this casting here. For this casting, of course, we've got our pivot points already bolted or already set in there. We've already done that. I did go back and just lightly center punched where we were going to come through here with our mounts, so I've relieved this a little bit. It was binding a little bit there. So this, there again, niceties on this, but this is virtually done other than just the niceties, I believe. So we'll, you know, once we get that all done, this is going to mount back in here like this, of course. There we go. And we've got a whole lot more pivot than we had before. And the whole assembly mounts up here, of course. And we've got that much adjustment. It'll zero out, and then the way I'll set this up is I'll do the same thing I did on my smaller Quorn. I will do another collar for up here, and I'll set a dial indicator so we can run off of there. And we'll probably, when we get to doing our niceties at the very end, we'll probably do just a flat little pad wherever that indicator is going to sit, and that way we've got that indication. I may very well put it to either one side or the other of our adjustment knob here. That way it's not right in the center. I think on the other Quorn I put it coming directly out. I'll probably offset it and come down on one side or the other here, right above the top of the spindle, and that way we can still adjust this up and down with our adjustments without having to move that out of the way. So that's where we're at with that now. So we've got lots of adjustment there. We've got more than we need, but that's okay. I don't mind that. So I don't know what I'm going to work on next. There again, I'm just working on stuff as I feel like doing it. I had other stuff I was going to do this morning, and I felt like getting this worked on a little bit more, so that's that much more done. So I'm really happy with that. But anyway, hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. Comments, suggestions, of course, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch.